You paid more for a saltwater pool, maybe much more. You were told it was natural, gentle on your skin, chemical free. The water feels soft. The smell is gone. You believe you left chlorine behind. But the real answer is far stranger, and it might make you angry. Your saltwater pool is a chlorine factory. How can that be? Right now, inside that sleek generator box, a chemical reaction is splitting salt. It is producing the exact same sanitizing compound found in a jug of bleach, the same compound a pool service dumps into a traditional pool. You did not escape chlorine. You simply moved the factory into your own backyard. Why would anyone build such a thing? Walk back to Australia in the 1960s, the continent of blazing sun and backyard swimming pools. Homeowners were tired of handling harsh chlorine chemicals. They wanted something easier. Some way to keep the water clear without constant trips to the pool store. What did engineers see? They looked at the ocean. Salt water. But does salt sanitize? No. Yet they knew that if you run an electric current through dissolved salt, you get chlorine gas. So they built a device. A salt chlorine generator. What happens inside? It passes a low voltage current through mildly salty water. The salt molecule, sodium chloride, splits. Chlorine gas bubbles off at one electrode. Hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide form at the other. Where does the chlorine gas go? It dissolves instantly into the water. It transforms into hypochlorous acid. That is the exact molecule that kills bacteria in any chlorinated pool. So what is the difference so far? Nothing. It also forms hypochlorite ion. Same duo, same sanitation chemistry. No magic. Just electrolysis. So where did the myth of chemical-free come from? Somewhere in the marketing department of a pool company. The words had power. Natural. Gentle. No harsh chemicals. Did they ever actually say it was chlorine-free? They just let you fill in the blank, and your brain did the rest. What did you picture? An ocean lagoon. You felt the soft water. You assumed the old chlorine irritants were gone. But here is the twist that the brochure skipped. Ready? When chlorine does its job, it reacts with stuff you bring into the pool. Sweat, urine, skin cells, hair products. What do these reactions create? Chloramines. Chloramines are the real culprits behind red eyes and that sharp chlorine smell. Ever notice a strong pool smell and think it means too much chlorine? The opposite is true. That smell means the chlorine is busy fighting contaminants and has turned into chloramines. And you guess what? Your saltwater pool makes chloramines just as efficiently. Why wouldn't it? If bathers bring organic matter, the chlorine, whether from a jug or a generator, will create those irritants. The salt system does not make them vanish. The chemistry does not care about the chlorine's birth story. Now think about cyanuric acid. Cyanuric acid is a stabilizer. It is added to outdoor pools to shield chlorine from ultraviolet sunlight. Without it, the sun destroys chlorine in a couple of hours. With it, chlorine can last days. Do you know what most saltwater pool owners add? Stabilizer. Often, the salt product contains it. But here is a danger you probably were not told. Have you heard of Ernest Blatchley? He is a researcher at Purdue University who has spent decades studying pool water chemistry. What has he warned about? Overstabilization. Cyanuric acid does not break down. It builds up. As its concentration rises, it binds increasingly to chlorine. What does that mean for you? It locks chlorine into a sluggish, slow-acting form. At very high levels, the chlorine can no longer kill pathogens fast enough. What happens then? Germs survive. Algae blooms. You might shock the pool to fix it, adding even more chemicals. And the stabilizer itself can contribute to toxic byproducts. Who has studied this? In 2014, a team at Stanford, led by environmental engineer William Mitch, published a study on disinfection byproducts in swimming pools. What did they find? They tested both traditional and saltwater pools. They found that the same family of byproducts appeared in both. Some of these compounds are linked to long-term health risks. Did the water care where its chlorine came from? No. It simply ran the same reactions. What do the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say? According to their healthy swimming guidelines, a saltwater pool is still a chlorinated pool. There's no free pass. Are you starting to feel a knot in your stomach? You spent thousands of dollars extra for the salt system. You bought the story of a natural, chemical-free oasis. But the water held the truth the entire time. The label was a narrative carefully crafted to separate you from your money. And it worked. Why did it work so well? Because you want to believe in a simpler, purer world. A world where technology can mimic nature without consequences. The pool industry gave you that story, and you swam in it. But what is the real difference? It is not chemical. It is purely logistical. In a traditional pool, someone adds chlorine in a concentrated form. In your salt pool, a machine makes the same chlorine from salt right there. That is all. The active germ killer is identical. The irritants are the same. The byproducts are the same. The invisible threat of overstabilization is perhaps even greater because you were told the system runs itself. You let your guard down. Now step back and look at the water. That faint whiff you sometimes catch when the pool is crowded. That is chloramines, not salt air. The soft feel on your skin is partly due to the salt, yes. Just salt dissolved in water. Salt does soften the water slightly, and many salt pool owners add salt beyond what the generator needs. But the sanitizing power still comes from chlorine. Never from the salt alone. If you unplugged that generator tomorrow, your pool would turn green just like any neglected chlorine pool. Why? The salt is merely the raw material. The factory inside the generator converts it into the weapon. And the weapon is chlorine. So what can you do with this knowledge? First, accept that you own a chlorine pool. Treat it with the same respect. Test the water regularly for free chlorine, pH, alkalinity, cyanuric acid, and calcium. Do not assume the system is automatic perfection. Watch that stabilizer level. Many pool experts recommend keeping cyanuric acid below 50 parts per million. But in a salt pool, the manufacturer often suggests a range that can creep higher. Why risk it? Check the generator cell for scale buildup. Clean it when needed. Manage your bather load. Shock the pool periodically to burn off chloramines. Because yes, salt pools need shocking too. The label saltwater is not a shield. It is a production method. Anger might bubble up. You feel deceived. But the water does not deceive. It just runs the equations. The water is honest. The next time you float in that pool, feel the cool embrace of the water. And remember something. You are floating in a chlorine solution that is being manufactured on the spot. You did not escape the chemistry. You just outsourced its creation to a machine in your plumbing. The irony is almost beautiful. You bought a chlorine factory so you could tell yourself you swim in salt water. And the factory hums silently, fulfilling its promise. A promise written in the periodic table. The very first line of this story was about how much you paid. The last line is this. You paid for a story, but the chemistry never cared about your money. It only cares about what it is. And it is chlorine. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. A new story every week.